Hey everybody, I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on animating a still photo using Adobe Photoshop as well as using Anime Studio Pro 8. So this is the end result of what we would end up having. Alright, and keep in mind this all came from a still photo, so we have different vectors going on here. Alright, so if we go into Photoshop, this is the original image we had here. So I'm only going to do two things in here. I'm not going to go into that much, try to refine it too much just for this sake of time here. So we'd duplicate the layer because we want to keep the original. We'd hide that layer. And now working off of this, we're going to make these leaves our little looping thing in the corner. We're going to select it, and you can get it as detailed as you want to, but I'm just rushing through it. I'm going to say refine edge, turn on smart focus and radius, and turn the edge to the left a little bit because we're moving it in a little bit more. Alright, see now we got the nice little leaves taking shape there. Say Command C, copy it, and go to a new layer. Okay, and Command V. So now if I hide that, our leaves are on this new layer. And I don't really like how it's this straight. If I wanted to loop, it's not going to look quite how I want it to, so I'm going to go into edit and puppet warp. Now we're going to add a few little points in here, and we're going to bend the image. Keep in mind this is after everything you cleaned it up, you did your little color correction and made everything look all nice and pretty. You do this last. So we're going to bend it a little bit, and we're going to apply this. Okay. And I'm kind of skipping around here, but anything you change in Photoshop and you save will be affected in Anime Studio after you import everything. So that'll make sense in a second here. So, alright, so now maybe we want let's get the tree on a separate layer too now. Alright, so we're going to select our tree. Alright. Same thing, refine edge. I'm gonna move this back a little bit. Smart focus. Okay, looks good. Command C. New layer. And make sure you label it something you can remember. I'm just rushing through it right now. So there's our tree. Alright, so now we want a blank background. So we could just select everything and let Content Aware do its magic. Hitting Shift and Delete brings up this prompt. Say OK. And I got rid of that now. I'm going to do the same thing with the tree. Alright. Shift and Delete. Okay. Alright, so our tree is gone too now. So now we have our background layer, our tree, and our little loop. So now, if this is all we wanted, we can say save it as something you can remember, and remember where you saved it to. Now we'll go back into Anime Studio, go to File, Import, Image. So it's saved as that Photoshop or .psd, that's your Photoshop project there. And say Open. And we don't want to composite it, that means it's going to flatten the image. We want all the individual layers, so individually. Okay, so now in Photoshop it's in the same, in Anime Studio, imported it in the same order that you have it in Photoshop. Alright, so that's very important here. Because when it comes to animating it, stuff can, see this tree is behind the little leaf there. So it does matter what order you put things in here. So now, actually let me do that again, so I kind of rushed through that, so say delete that. We're gonna just delete everything. Okay. So File, Import, Image. Find our Photoshop project there, and say Open individually. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, you can probably hear my nephew in the background. We're gonna select our little leaf layer, and we're gonna add take these out of the bone layer. They all get imported into a bone layer. We don't want them all in the same one though. And we're gonna bind that these are all images. Bind this to a bone. So we're gonna create a bone right here. You can make as many as you'd like. This is just for the sake of this tutorial. Alright, so we're gonna bind it to the bone, and now if I move the bone layer, our leaves move. And we just go down the timeline and gradually make little changes here and there if we wanted our leaf to be animated. So add little points. Alright, 2 seconds into it, 3 seconds, and at 4 seconds it's back to the original position. So now, look at that, the turn. Alright. And you do that with all of your elements. So I had the leaves in there. You grab your little layer. So maybe I wanted these to move around for whatever reason. They're flying around because it's windy. So I grab this translate layer tool. And as it's blowing in circles, maybe it's rising and it's falling. And 2 seconds it goes down. And 3 seconds it's over here for whatever reason. So now it's moving around and turning at the same time because it's windy outside. That looks kind of messed up. But anyway, you get the idea. Another point I wanted to bring up, I mentioned earlier, is if you change anything in Photoshop, it's going to affect your animation. So say, for whatever reason, we wanted to change our tree. Alright, so we go back into Photoshop. And we go to our tree layer. So if I delete something or change the color, anything, it's going to affect it in Animate Studio. So that part's deleted now, and let's, I don't know, change the hue on here or something. For whatever reason, we're all artsy and we want it to be a bright color like that. Okay. And we say save. So now, if we go back into Animate Studio, look at that. Our tree is deleted where I deleted it, and the color changed. Because they're linked together. It's reading it from Photoshop. So anything you make, any changes you make in Photoshop is going to be affected in here. So, but yeah, as you just keep fine tuning, and the end result, once again, is this little animation. All right. So hopefully that helps somebody, and look forward to see your creative animations you make. If you're interested in any music, be sure to check out frozenmusic.bandcamp.com, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. And I'll talk to you guys later. All right.